We're on the record in cause number 324078. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Shaquilla McQueen Ford. We have Ms. Ford appearing via Zoom. Ms. Ford, you could, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Ms. Ford, I have before me a deferred adjudication order of dismissal where this probation office is requesting that you be given an early release stating that you have satisfactorily served 1/3 of the assessed time and has not been involved in any criminal offenses during said community supervision term. We have Ms. Ashley Barlow, who is the probation officer. I think Ms. Barlow filed, or at least made this recommendation. And Ms. Barlow, could you give the court some factual basis of the reason for the motion for early termination?
Yes, Your Honor. Since she was granted probation, she's completed all of her conditions. She reported as directed. She's paid her fine and court costs and restitution in full and completed all of her community service early. So the probation office is recommending that she be allowed to discharge early.
Okay, and I see here where she initially was given 18 months deferred adjudication probation, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was, her probation started July 20 to 2020, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she served approximately 11 months, which is almost 2/3 of the probationary period, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, you have any objections to Ms. Shaquilla McQueen for being given an early termination?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, based upon the information that has been given by the probation department and no objections by the state, the court is of the opinion that it is in the best interest that Ms. Shaquilla McQueen Ford be given an early termination because she has satisfactorily served 1/3 of the assessed term and has not been involved in any criminal offenses during said community service term. So at this time, Ms. Ford, I'm signing the early termination. You're no longer on probation. You can, and this was a deferred probation, so you can talk to an attorney about a non-disclosure. Excuse me, about getting a non-disclosure on your behalf. Case will be dismissed and will not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for non-disclosure, so you can talk to an attorney about that. And again, Ms. Ford, congratulations, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Judge, and thank you so much, Ms. Ashley.
Okay. You have a blessed day. You're excused.
Thank you.
Let her in. Let the stand on this X right here. Okay. Now, we're on the record. Cause number 325464, State of Texas versus Felicia Roy. We have Ms. Roy here with interpreter by the name of Ms. Barbara Johnson. Okay, Ms. Johnson, would you be staying here so she can swear you in?
Do you solemnly swear that you will accurately translate English to sign and sign to English? So
Yes.
Okay. We have Mr. William Wilkerson, who is the attorney for Ms. Felicia Roy. Now, Ms. Roy, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay. And Mr. Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
And Ms. Johnson, how are you doing?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Wilkerson, Ms. Roy's case is on the announcement docket.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an announcement that you would like to make in Ms. Johnson's case? I mean, excuse me, Mrs. Roy's case?
Not at this time, Your Honor. There's some things that we have to look into, including a restitution in this case. I don't think maybe an update was ever provided to the state regarding the state of the items and whether they were returned or not. And so the state's going to look into that. Additionally, Your Honor, I've learned through communicating with my client today that she's unable to write, and that as far as reading is concerned, she can understand with the help of someone else reading it and explaining it to her. So essentially, she can't read and comprehend on her own. And so I have concerns about her ever understanding all of the rights in an official or formal capacity that she has.
Okay. So,
I think a 30-day reset would be appropriate in this case.
reset it for 30 days?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna reset it for 30 days. We're gonna keep it on the announcement docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll have a date for you in just a moment if you want to wait in the gallery or outside. May we be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Ms. Johnson,
Ms. Johnson?
I'll give you a reset as well.
Okay.
You can sign for me, Mr. Wilkerson.
I'll get it for you.
Bruce, what to do with,
We're on the record in cause number 304430. The case is styled State of Texas versus Jasmine Victoria. We have Ms. Victoria appearing in court. Earlier she appeared on Zoom. Ms. Victoria, how you doing? That's good. Now, Ms. Victoria, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Todd LeBlanc, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. LeBlanc, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Judge.
That's good. Ms. Ashley Barlow, Ms. Victoria was to complete a community service?
Yes, Your Honor. She provided verification this morning that she completed all of her hours.
And so what is the recommendation of the probation officer?
Dismiss her MTRP.
Okay, and that will be done this morning? Okay, Ms. LeBlanc, you have any objections?
I didn't hear her, Judge.
They're gonna dismiss Ms. Victoria's MTRP. She has completed all of her community service.
Good. I think it's time to dismiss it, Judge. I don't have any objections.
Okay. Okay, you have any objections?
No objection.
Okay. Okay, we'll do the dismissal here now, Mr. LeBlanc. This will conclude your case. You'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Ms. Victoria, once you get your dismissal, you'll be.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you're welcome.
So like Candace Banks and you.
It's Keller Washington on Zoom.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, Ms. Washington. Did you have, we don't see your name on the court's docket.
Your Honor, my name is Jeannie LeBlanc with Probation in Beaumont. I'm Miss Washington's officer. The court coordinator called and advised that she was to be set today at 10 o'clock for an early termination hearing.
Oh. Okay, you say you spoke to one of the court coordinators?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know who you spoke to?
Melanie or Monica?
Melanie? Yeah, we have a Melanie.
She set an AS 400. It's reflecting an AS 400 that she was set for today.
Okay. Just hold on a minute. Okay, we got to get the motion too. Just hold on a minute. Okay. Do you still have a copy you have a copy of that motion?
Yes, sir, I do. I sent it to the court on May the 18th of 21.
Okay, could you fax it again?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I can do that right now if you like.
yeah, that'll be fine. Hold on a minute. They want you to fax it to this number. It's 835-8712.
835-8712.
8712, yes.
Yes, sir. I'll do that right now.
Okay, thank you. Here you go. We're on a record in cause number 319226. Case is style of State of Texas versus Candace Williams Banks. Is that your full name? How you doing, Miss Williams Banks? You doing fine? That's good. Ms. Williams Banks, you have a motion to revoke your probation, and you are represented by attorney John Macy, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor.
Okay, that's good. Now, Ms. Barlow, what is the recommendation of the probation office?
The probation office is recommending revocation in this case.
Okay, now, Mr. Macy, what is your announcement? State the probation office is recommending revocation.
Yes, Your Honor. I had an offer from the district attorney's office. However, I've never I've never talked with Ms. Banks because she was apparently didn't appear the last time we were scheduled for court. So I didn't have the opportunity to talk to her, and I wasn't aware of, because she had failed to appear, I guess. I didn't get a notice of this reset, which is, I apologize, Judge. That's why I'm appearing on Zoom. So I'd really like an opportunity to, if we could, to maybe put the case off a week so that, or a little while, so that I can go and talk to her in person to see whether she'd want to accept the state's offer, presuming that the state, that I haven't talked to the state either, so I'm presuming their offer is the same, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so you want to reset it for an announcement on your MTRP?
Yes, Judge, if that's possible.
Would you like to get a standard reset?
Yes.
Okay, just hold on a minute. We're gonna give you a standard reset. Miss William Banks, just have a seat. Once you get your reset, you're gonna get your reset in court, you're gonna be free to go. Just have a seat in you. And Mr. Macy, just hold on. Our court reporter stepped out to our office. She's gonna come back in, give you your reset. Okay, here she is. She's gonna give you a reset. We need a reset for William Candace Banks. We need a reset for Williams Candace Banks on the MTRP docket, standard reset. Okay, it's gonna be, Mr. Macy, it's gonna be reset July 30th. Once you get your reset, well, you're free to go. This will conclude your case. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. You talking to me?
Yes.
Okay. Are they gonna email me the reset or fax it to me?
It's gonna be sent to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Have a nice weekend.
All right, same to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. Ms. Williams Banks, once you come on up, you're gonna stand on the X. That's Miss Candace William Banks. Her case is being reset July 30th, 2021. Once you get your reset, Miss Williams Banks, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. We're back on the record in clause number 324330. Case is style of state of Texas versus Kayla Janae Washington. We have, let's see, Ms. Washington appearing via Zoom. And we have Ms. Washington's probation officer, Ms. Jeannie LeBlanc, who is also appearing via Zoom. Ms. Washington, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're doing fine. Thanks for asking. And Ms. LeBlanc, how are you doing? Okay, you're on mute.
Sorry, Judge. I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Now, Ms. LeBlanc, you have filed this motion for early termination in Ms. Washington's case. You states that, but in your motion that she has satisfactorily completed 1/3 of the assessed term and has not been involved in any criminal offenses during the said community supervision term. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you also like to give the court a little bit more background, factual background about her participation on probation?
Yes, sir. Ms. Washington was placed on probation October 12th of 2020, at which time she was residing in the state of New York. We submitted her case to Interstate Compact. She was attending school at the Fashion Institute in New York. She was accepted by the state of New York and has been in compliance with our probation in the state of New York, as well as completing her community service, fulfilling all financial obligations. She has been awarded a bachelor's degree recently in May of last month. And she's been employed throughout her probation. And she's done very, very well.
Okay. Now, State, you have any objections to Ms. Washington being given an early termination?
No objections.
Okay. Now, Ms. Washington, I see here that you completed 2/3 of your probation, which is more than the 1/3 that is normally required on early termination. Like to commend you for your participation on probation. Also like to commend you for obtaining your bachelor's degree.
Thank you.
And most of all, we like to commend you for being a productive citizen. And we like to encourage you to continue to be a productive citizen. Ms. Washington, I'm signing this early termination. Now, Ms. Washington, this is a deferred adjudicated probation, which means that since you've successfully completed the deferred probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction. You may qualify for you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You just need to talk to an attorney if you desire to get one to help you to get your non-disclosure. Now, Ms. Washington, I saw you wipe your face. I guess that's some tears of joy.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
And again, congratulations. And
Thank
continue
you.
good work and continue to be a productive citizen in our society. With
I
that,
will definitely.
again, I just signed I'll just show it to you. I just signed the early termination. You're no longer on probation. This will conclude your case. You have a blessed day, and you are excused. And Ms. LeBlanc, thank you for all of the work that you've done and the work that you do for this county.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you. You too.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank y'all.
Okay, this will conclude this hearing. You're excused.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
We're on the record in two cases. The first case is cause number 328602. And the second case is cause number 328622. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Zeno Joseph Jr. And is that your full name, Zeno Joseph Jr.?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Joseph?
I'm good.
That's good. Mr. Joseph, you represented here by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Cobb. Mr. Cobb, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, yeah.
That's good. Now, Mr. Joseph, in case number 328602, the information alleges that on or about December 4th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Mr. Joseph, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to discharge, Mr. Joseph, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contact. No contact.
Not, okay. Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, now, Mr. Joseph, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, also referred to as State's Exhibit Number 1. He was supposed to initial, here he wrote his signature on it. Right, he erased it. You need to erase that, just do that, that's the eraser, and
Okay.
have him to initial that box.
Sure. Okay, just a minute. Okay.
Okay. Now, Mr. Joseph, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. Now, initially you had it as, State's Exhibit Number 1, it's a Class B misdemeanor. And the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor is confinement in the county jail for a term not to exceed 180 days, which is 6 months, or a fine that does not exceed $2,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, here I put my initials there showing that I had checked off that box. Now, Mr. Joseph, are these your initials on the line that's next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of this document, Mr. Joseph, is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Joseph, I have another document here. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
It is, sir.
And there are 2 boxes that's checked appear at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Is that correct? The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, did y'all sign the discovery certification?
I have it right here, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Joseph, I have before me, in this case, a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
It is.
Now, Mr. Joseph, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
It is, sir.
State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, you also like to offer stage 2, the probable cause affidavit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cobb, do you have any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Cobb, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Joseph, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Joseph, your attorney, Mr. Cobb, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Joseph, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do you have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
It's for 180 days, probated over 18 months. $1,200 fine. The state is waiving community service in this case. A drug offender class, and that is to run concurrent with cause number 328622.
Mr. Joseph,
Yes, sir.
the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you will be required to pay a fine of $1,200 plus court costs of $457, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,657. You'll also be required to reimburse the crime lab $100. And in this particular case, you will not be required to pay a probation fee. You will also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And you'll be required to reimburse the court-appointed attorney's fees of $150 in this case. Now, your total monthly installments, that is how much you will be required to pay per month, is $125. Would you be able to pay the $125 each month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you will not be, the state is waiving community service. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 328622. And you would have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation, of this probation. Now, Mr. Joseph, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Joseph, I have another case here. This case has an information that alleges that on or about October 21st of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Mr. Joseph, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Joseph, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or charge, you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
I do. Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Joseph, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. In this document, Mr. Joseph, on page 1, you notice I've checked off the box that states that this is a Class B misdemeanor and the range of punishment is confinement in the county jail for a term not to exceed 180 days, a fine that does not exceed $2,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, he has to change, he got his signature there. He needs to,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
place his initials on that line.
I'll take it.
Okay, now, Mr. Williams, on State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, on page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that's checked no contendere. Are these your initials? And on the next document, excuse me, on the same document, but the next page, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature? And on the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there is a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature? There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. And the next, do you understand that? And the next box states that you're waiving your right to appeal or you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that? Now, I also have a document that is titled the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document? Is that your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Joseph, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Cobb, you've advised and counseled Mr. Joseph in this case. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No evidence, no.
Mr. Joseph, your attorney, Mr. Cobb has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
It's for 180 days, probated over 18 months, a $1,200 fine. The state is waiving community service, and that's to run concurrent with cause number 328602.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, the state is offering in this case that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in jail on this case because you'll be on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,200 and court costs of $457. The fine and court costs comes to a total of $1,657. You also be required to reimburse the crime lab $100. You'll be required to pay probation fees in this case of $60, a urinalysis $60 each month, and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and reimburse the county for the court attorney's fees of $150. The total monthly installments that you'll be required to pay in this case is $185 per month. Would you be able to pay the $185?
Yeah.
You will? Okay.
No, excuse me, one thing clarification. They were one concurrent, I think it was 325 on the other one, and this one's 385.
What are you talking about? 325, 380?
Those were different in the different cases.
I know, but
So,
I mean,
concurrent.
what's 385 and what's 285? You mentioned that.
No, 125 on one, and then per month, and the 185 per month.
That's correct.
That's
Because
the
he,
probation fees are only on one of those cases.
yeah,
Okay,
probation fee
okay.
is in one because he got $60 probation fee in this case and not the other one.
Does that make any sense to you now?
Okay. So you'll be able to pay the 185 per month, is that correct? Now, you will not, the state is waiving the community service This case will run concurrent with cause number 328-602 or 602, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Joseph, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Joseph, you're gonna stand on the X near your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of the clerk. Once you follow her directions and you finish here, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Cobb, I think this will conclude your cases. Once you sign that, you'll be free to go as well. And you have a blessed day.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Can you get your right thumb to it?
Is that? That's everybody. It's-